Hello, my name is Matt Allender, a wildlife veterinarian at the Wildlife Epidemiology Lab, and I want to thank you for your participation in the Department of Defense study of snake fungal disease. This video will give you an overview of snake fungal disease and describe how to collect samples from snakes at your installation.
Snake fungal disease, or SFD, is an infection caused by the fungus Ophidiomyces ophidiocola. The disease affects a wide variety of snakes around the world, but does not affect other species of reptiles or humans. In the U.S., the disease has been found in most states in the eastern part of the country, as well as Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Kansas. The fungus lives in the soil and can survive a wide range of temperatures. Transmission is thought to occur via contact with the fungus in the soil or with an infected snake. It may involve an abrasion or other break in the skin. Lesions associated with the disease vary from discolored or raised scales to pustules and crusts and ulcers. They typically just involve the skin and can be found anywhere on the body.
Hi, I'm Ellen Haynes, a veterinarian and PhD student at the Wildlife Epidemiology Lab. You will be provided with a sampling kit that contains all of these items: a styrofoam cooler and a box for shipping, a pre-labeled shipping label to mail your samples back to our lab, and a cold ice pack. You will also receive a few copies of the data sheet, a permanent marker, cotton tip applicators for swabbing snakes, and a storage box with 2 milliliter Eppendorf tubes, some of which will be pre-labeled so you can see how the tubes are to be labeled. When conducting surveys for snakes on your installation, it is important to be aware of venomous species. You can consult the DoD Park resource for more information about venomous snakes found in your area and how to identify them. Venomous snakes should not be captured for testing unless you have been specifically trained in your installation's protocol and have access to the proper equipment. For more information about handling venomous snakes, please watch the video found at this website. Once you have identified a snake as non-venomous, they can be captured by hand.
Remember that biosecurity is of utmost importance to prevent transmission of snake fungal disease between snakes. Disposable nitrile gloves should be worn when handling any snake and should be changed between snakes. Snakes should be restrained firmly but gently, and the head should be controlled by holding at the base of the head to prevent bites. As much as possible, the snake's entire body should be supported. Make sure to fully examine the head, neck, back, belly, sides, and tail for any raised or discolored scales, pustules, crusts, or ulcers, as you can see here in this fox snake. Lesions in this fox snake were severe. Feel free to freehand the description of the lesions on the data sheet. If there are more than 4 lesions, make a note in the data sheet and draw as many as you possibly can, but only collect samples from up to 4 lesions.
Record your findings on the data sheet, including lesion size and location. Each lesion will be assigned a letter as described on the data sheet, and lesions should be marked on the images of the snake on the data sheet. Take pictures of the entire snake, as well as each lesion noted on the data sheet. In each photo, include a label with the installation code, snake number, and lesion letter if applicable. Include a ruler in the photo to indicate lesion size when possible. Each snake should be weighed either in a pillowcase using a spring scale, as demonstrated here, or by placing the snake in a clean container on a digital scale.
Use the provided cotton tip applicators to collect samples from the snake. For snakes without lesions, 2 swabs of the entire body will be taken. Take a clean swab and pass it up and down the snake's body 8 times, pressing firmly but gently with the side of the swab and turning the swab as you go. Make sure to sample the sides and dorsal body of the snake. Do this twice for each snake. For snakes with lesions, a swab will be taken from each lesion in addition to the 2 body swabs. Just use a separate clean cotton tip applicator and only swab the site of the lesion. If any scales or scabs are removed during swabbing, include these with the swab in the provided Eppendorf tube. After collecting all the necessary information and swabs from the snake, return the snake to the wild at the location where it was found.
Each swab should be placed in a clean, separate Eppendorf tube. Do not allow the swab to contact any other surfaces, animals, or swabs before storage. Place the swab in the tube and break off the excess swab handle before securely closing the lid of the tube. Label the tube with the date of collection, installation code, snake number, and swab letter. An individual lesion should have the same letter on the datasheet, the label in the photo, and on the tube. Store the tubes in the provided cardboard box in the freezer. Any equipment that contacts a snake or the soil, such as boots, hooks, or buckets, should be cleaned with a solution of 10% bleach between snakes and between study areas. Organic matter such as mud or leaves should be removed before bleaching to maximize the efficacy of the disinfection. If multiple snakes are collected at once for later sampling, each should be placed in a clean bucket or pillowcase that is disinfected between animals.
Sample boxes should be shipped in the provided styrofoam cooler with the frozen ice pack via overnight shipping. Data sheets should be included with the shipment and should be placed in a sealed plastic bag for protection.